What if I told you the life you dream of is waiting for you? On the other side of fear. What if every limit you believe in is just a story you've been told? Because here's the truth: no risk, no success. And today, I'm going to give you 6 truths that will change how you see risk forever. Greatness is not an accident. It doesn't arrive wrapped in luck or handed down like a family heirloom. Greatness is earned, and the currency is risk. Every person who has ever built something extraordinary had to gamble with uncertainty. They stood on the edge of the unknown, their hearts pounding, and still they leapt. Why? Because they knew the cost of playing small was far greater than the cost of risking it all. Risk is not optional on the path to greatness. It is the admission ticket. Without it, you're a spectator in a game you were born to play. Think about the lives we celebrate, the legends whose names echo long after they're gone. Do you know what they all share? They didn't wait for perfect timing, for approval, for guarantees. They bet on themselves when no one else would. They chose to act when the odds were against them. They understood that the higher the risk, the greater the potential for transformation. Their stories are not tales of comfort. They are stories of courage. The kind of courage that only risk demands. But let's be real. Risk is terrifying. It's not glamorous in the beginning. It's messy. It's uncertain. It exposes your insecurities and strips away your excuses. When you risk something, you're not guaranteed applause. You might face rejection. You might fall flat. You might be laughed at. And yet, this is exactly why risk is powerful. Because when you step into it, you announce to yourself and the world, I refuse to settle. That declaration alone is the start of greatness. Risk is also the ultimate equalizer. You can come from privilege or poverty, have endless resources or none at all. But when it comes to risk, everyone has the same choice: take it or don't. And that choice will define your destiny. Some people spend their lives calculating, planning, waiting for conditions to be perfect. But the people who rise, the ones who shape industries, movements, and history, are those who leap before the net appears. They understand that security is an illusion, and that risk is the only true investment in possibility. Here's the irony. The very thing most people run from, risk, is the thing they're actually searching for. They want freedom, but freedom comes from risking security. They want wealth, but wealth comes from risking failure. They want love, but love comes from risking heartbreak. Risk is the bridge to everything meaningful in life. Without stepping onto that bridge, you stand still, watching others cross over to the life you secretly crave. The truth is, avoiding risk is not safety. It's self-sabotage. And so, greatness demands you make a decision. Will you pay the price? Will you risk your ego, your comfort, your reputation, even your current definition of success, for something bigger? If your answer is yes, then you already hold the keys to transformation. If your answer is no, then you will keep spinning in circles, convincing yourself that safety is wisdom, when in reality it is fear in disguise. Remember, this risk will never wait for you to be ready. Greatness will never arrive in your comfort zone. The question is not if you're capable of greatness. The question is whether you're willing to risk for it. Safe feels good, doesn't it? It feels predictable. You know the outcome before it even begins. There's no risk of embarrassment, no fear of falling, no chance of rejection. It's why so many people cling to it. It's easy. But here's the brutal truth: playing safe is the biggest danger of all. Comfort zones disguise themselves as protection, but in reality, they are cages. And the longer you stay inside, the smaller your world becomes. The walls close in. Your potential shrinks. The clock ticks. And you realize you're not living. You're merely surviving. Every day you choose safety over risk. You trade a piece of your future for a false sense of stability. You think you're saving yourself from pain, but what you're really doing is numbing yourself from growth. Imagine this: a seed sitting in the ground, refusing to crack open because it's afraid of breaking. What happens? It never becomes a tree. It never reaches the sun. It dies with potential buried inside. That is exactly what happens when you choose safety. You stay buried, untouched, unseen, unrealized. Playing small may protect you from failure, but it robs you of the very chance to fly. The illusion of safety is perhaps the greatest lie we are told. You think staying in that secure job, that predictable relationship, that routine lifestyle is safe. But look around. Companies collapse, relationships end, economies shift. The ground beneath your safe choice is always moving. There is no true safety in life. So why do we cling to it? Because it feels familiar. Because it doesn't challenge us. Because it doesn't stretch us. But if you confuse familiarity with safety, you'll wake up one day realizing your life is built on sand. Playing it safe isn't protection. It's procrastination dressed as wisdom. Ask yourself this: what is scarier? Risking failure or facing the slow, silent death of regret? Failure hurts, yes. It stings, it bruises, it makes you question yourself. But regret is poison. It doesn't sting, it lingers. It whispers in your ear when you're older, reminding you of the chances you never took, the dreams you buried, the what ifs you can never go back and change. Safety may shield you from short-term pain, but it guarantees long-term suffering. You don't want that. Not for yourself, not for your life. When you step outside the comfort zone, something incredible happens. You awaken. Your senses sharpen. Your energy surges. You feel alive because you're stretching into the unknown. The fear you thought would destroy you, it fuels you. The risk you thought would break you, it builds you. Every time you step into risk, you expand your territory. Your comfort zone grows. You realize you're capable of far more than you believed. And here's the secret: that expansion never ends. The more risks you take, the bigger your life becomes. Playing safe keeps your world small. Taking risks makes your world limitless. So here's the challenge: stop equating safety with success. Stop convincing yourself that comfort is the goal. Comfort kills dreams. It whispers lies that tell you you're fine, when deep down you know you're not. If you want to live a life that is bold, that is meaningful, that shakes the world, you must let go of the safety net. Because it was never there to save you. It was there to trap you. Playing safe will never protect you. It will only prevent you. And prevention is death in disguise. No more hiding. No more waiting. No more safety. Because the truth is, the safest thing you can ever do is risk it all for the life you were born to live. We've been taught the wrong definition of failure. Somewhere along the line, someone decided failure meant the end. That if you fall, you're finished. That if you make a mistake, you're disqualified. But let's set the record straight. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is the pathway. Every stumble, every rejection, every wrong turn is not a wall blocking you, but a signpost pointing the way forward. Failure is not a verdict. It is a teacher. And the sooner you stop fearing it, the sooner you unlock your true potential. Think of the inventors, the entrepreneurs, the artists, the leaders who shaped the world. Do you know what they all had in common? They failed often more times than they succeeded. They fell flat on their faces, faced ridicule, lost money, lost time, sometimes even lost faith. But they didn't quit. They studied their failures. They learned. They adapted. And each failure became a stepping stone, one they could never have skipped. Success wasn't a straight line for them. It was a staircase carved out of missteps, wrong turns, and setbacks. That staircase is the same one you and I must climb. The problem is, most people never let themselves step onto that staircase. They're so paralyzed by the idea of failing that they never even begin. But here's the paradox: by avoiding failure, they fail anyway. They fail quietly. They fail slowly. They fail in advance by not daring to try. And that is the cruelest failure of all, because it offers no lessons, no growth, no progress. It is emptiness disguised as safety. At least when you fail while trying, you walk away with wisdom. At least then, you're moving forward. Failure, in its rawest form, is feedback. It's data. It's the universe telling you, not this way, try another. It strips away illusions and reveals the truth. Maybe your plan was flawed. Maybe your preparation was incomplete. Maybe your timing was off. Failure doesn't say, you're not good enough. It says, here's what you need to fix. That shift in perspective is everything. Instead of branding yourself with shame, you brand yourself with resilience. Instead of asking, why me? You start asking, what's next? And that is how failure transforms into fuel. When you embrace failure, you discover a hidden freedom. Suddenly, the fear of rejection doesn't hold you hostage. The possibility of embarrassment doesn't silence your voice. You stop obsessing over what people will think, because you realize their opinions don't pay your bills, don't build your dreams, don't define your destiny. You become unstoppable, not because you no longer fail, but because failure no longer breaks you. That resilience is the very foundation of greatness. The strongest steel is forged in fire. The greatest lives are forged in failure. So let this truth sink deep into your soul. Failure is not a curse, it is a compass. It doesn't end your journey, it directs it. It doesn't shrink you, it stretches you. And the people who achieve extraordinary success are not those who avoid failure, but those who harness it, who learn from it, who let it refine them until nothing can shake them. Stop running from failure. Run into it. Learn from it. Use it. Because in the end, success is not the absence of failure, it is the mastery of it. Failure is not your enemy. It is your teacher, your guide, your proving ground. Embrace it, and it will carve the path to the success you've been chasing all along. Risk doesn't just create opportunities, it forges resilience. Every time you step into the unknown, every time you put yourself on the line, you're not just chasing a goal, you're building a backbone. Resilience is not built in comfort. It's not developed in moments of ease or certainty. It's born when you're pushed, stretched, tested. When you risk something and the outcome doesn't go as planned, that's when you either collapse or grow stronger. And if you keep stepping into risk, you'll find that collapse slowly becomes impossible. You learn to rise. You learn to endure. You learn to bend without breaking. Most people think resilience is something you're either born with or without. But that's a lie. Resilience is trained like a muscle, and risk is the gym. The heavier the weight, the stronger you become. Each failure, each rejection, each challenge adds layers to your strength. At first, it feels unbearable. You want to quit, you want to hide, you want to retreat to safety. But when you choose to stay, when you choose to risk again, your spirit toughens, your mindset sharpens. You stop being fragile. You stop being breakable. And slowly, you realize that no matter what life throws at you, you can take the hit and keep moving. That is resilience. Resilience is what separates the dreamers from the doers. Everyone has visions, desires, ambitions, but only the resilient turn them into reality. Why? Because life will test you. It will not hand you success without resistance. It will knock you down, often when you least expect it. And if you don't have resilience, you'll stay down. But when you've built that resilience through risk, every blow becomes lighter. Every obstacle becomes smaller. Every storm feels survivable. Because you know you faced worse, and you came out stronger. That knowledge becomes your shield. The beauty of resilience is that it doesn't just help you survive, it helps you thrive. Resilient people don't crumble under pressure, they perform under it. They don't see challenges as threats, they see them as training. That mindset doesn't appear magically. It is carved out of repeated exposure to risk. The more you risk, the more setbacks you encounter, the more resilient you become. And the more resilient you become, the bigger the risks you're able to take. It becomes a cycle of growth that propels you higher and higher. Without resilience, one setback can end you. With resilience, no setback can stop you. But let's be honest, resilience isn't glamorous. It isn't pretty. It's messy, it's painful, it's exhausting. It requires you to sit in discomfort, to face fear, to endure uncertainty. It's built in sleepless nights, in the silence of doubt, in the weight of responsibility. It doesn't feel like growth while you're in it. But when you look back, you realize those moments shaped you into someone unshakable. Resilience is forged in the fire of risk. And once you've been through that fire, you walk differently, you think differently, you live differently. And that's why risk is non-negotiable. Because without risk, there is no resilience. And without resilience, there is no lasting success. You might win once, you might get lucky, but without resilience, you won't hold on to it. Life will come for you, and it always does. But if you've built resilience, you will not only withstand it, you will rise above it. That's the power risk gives you. It doesn't just give you the chance to win, it makes you undefeatable. Risk builds resilience. Resilience builds strength. And strength builds a life that cannot be broken. This is how you stop merely surviving and start becoming unstoppable. Opportunities do not come knocking on the doors of those who wait politely in the shadows. They are magnetized to boldness. They are drawn to people who dare to take risks, who declare with their actions, "I am ready." Risk is not just a step toward opportunity. It is the signal that summons it. When you take risks, you stand out in a world addicted to safety. You become visible, undeniable, impossible to ignore. Opportunity has no interest in the timid. It is searching for the brave. Think of every breakthrough in history. Every invention that changed the world. Every movement that shook society. Every career that skyrocketed beyond limits. It was triggered by someone taking a risk. A risk to speak an unpopular truth. A risk to try a new idea. A risk to step out of the line everyone else was standing in. That risk didn't guarantee success, but it guaranteed attention. And attention is the gateway to opportunity. If you want doors to open, you cannot stand still in the hallway. You have to knock, you have to push, sometimes you even have to kick. And risk is the force behind that action. The irony is, most people pray for opportunities, but run from the very thing that attracts them. Risk. They sit quietly, doing what's safe, what's predictable, what's comfortable, hoping one day the universe will reward them with a chance. But that's not how it works. The universe doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards courage. The act of risking, of betting on yourself, sends out a message louder than words. You're willing to pay the price. And when life hears that message, it responds. Suddenly, people notice you. Suddenly, possibilities appear. Suddenly, the opportunities you once chased start chasing you. But let's be clear, opportunities don't arrive wrapped in certainty. They don't show up neatly packaged, promising guaranteed success. They come disguised as challenges, as leaps into the unknown, as risks that scare you. And that's why most people miss them. They want opportunity without discomfort. They want growth without stretching. But opportunity does not live in safety. It lives in uncertainty.